stop trying to do it all yourself. I've found too many solopreneurs, entrepreneurs that don't have the right team members, don't have, or maybe even none, but they're not outsourcing things that they could be doing. Anything you do every day over and over could likely be turned into a business process that you could outsource. And in today's world, it's never been easier to outsource.
Welcome to Small Business Pivots, a podcast designed for small business owners. I'm your host, Michael Morrison, a small business coach and founder of Boss, where we make business ownership simplified for success so that you can create a business that works without you. To learn more, go to businessownershipsimplified.com. And be sure to hang out to the end of this episode for my recap and Coach's Corner, where I challenge you to take action on one thing that will move the needle in your business. Our guest today is Marco Torres. Marco has been an entrepreneur since childhood, managing the largest paper route in San Juan, Puerto Rico by age 12. Hailing from Texas, his family's move to Puerto Rico ignited his spirit of adventure and entrepreneurship. After college, Marco spearheaded the establishment of 5 Mexican restaurants across Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands with his family. By 23, he ventured into nightlife, opening an after-hours nightclub in San Juan. Transitioning to Florida, Marco excelled in the travel industry, pioneering internet marketing strategies that generated nearly $1 billion over 8 years. In 2008, he co-founded bookvip.com, which became North America's fastest-growing travel company, leveraging innovative customer testimonials to reach over $250 million in sales. Inspired by BookVIP's success, Marco launched marketingboost.com, offering affordable travel incentives to small and medium-sized businesses. Known as Capt Marco, he now dedicates himself to helping businesses boost sales and improve conversion rates with his subscription-based incentives starting at $37 a month, revolutionizing accessibility in the industry. Marco is with us today to share insights on how he built multi-million-dollar businesses and how the lessons he learned can help you do the same. Let's get to our guest now. So welcome to another Small Business Pivots. Today we have a beautiful guest from a beautiful world. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So I have found that no one can introduce their name or business better than the founder. So tell us a little bit about you.
You bet. Thanks again for having me. So my name is Marco, and I founded a company called marketingboost.com. And we also have our own podcast show, by the way, Marketing Boost Solutions Show. But anyway, marketingboost.com, what we do is we serve small business owners around the globe with travel incentives with the what we call the wow, surprise, and delight factor. We provide business owners the ability to enhance whatever their call to action is by providing travel incentives, complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations from 3 to 7 nights, plus hotel savings cards that come in different increments and restaurant savings vouchers. And then we, in our community, teach these members how to use those incentives. Everything from stand out from a crowd at a trade show to gather leads, or acquire more leads online with the sweepstakes, or support local nonprofits and be an expert in your community. All kinds of ideas we can talk about on the show on how an entrepreneur can use these incentives as new ways to generate more leads, put them in their pipeline, and convert them to paying clients along the way.
It really is a fascinating concept, and I do encourage everyone to go listen to your podcast, as I've been a guest on there as well. So we're kind of switching roles here a little bit, which is kind of weird, but it's fun. For sure. So I'm going to pick your brain today. So I know a lot of our listeners are small business owners, and I know that a lot of us, like myself, we all have something in common, which is trials, tribulations, some mindset blockage growing up, maybe a bad childhood or an event. I know for a lot of the listeners that hear our shows from time to time, they know that I was kidnapped by gunpoint, and that usually gets everybody's attention, for my biological father of all people. Anything like that you had to deal with when you got into your adulting world that kind of held you back, or did you have a beautiful life?
No, well, I had a pretty good life overall. I've been an entrepreneur since age 9. I started a paper route at age 9. I mean, my dad was pretty darn strict, and there was no freebies in my household. There was no weekly allowance, and so, he hit me. I mean, he told me one. Okay, if you, I said I wanted a Schwinn bicycle. I was begging for a Schwinn bike, and he said, "Well, you can wait for Christmas, and maybe Santa will bring it to you if you're good, or you could wait for your birthday, and maybe you'll get one for your birthday, or you could go earn the money and buy one yourself, and you'll even enjoy the bicycle even more." So I'm like, "Well, how do I do that?" And so he guided me to start a paper route, which back in my day meant you had to go knock on doors to sell the subscriptions. Then you had to be up at 5 in the morning to deliver the papers. And then I had to go back to those door to door to collect the money because there was no online payments for everybody to pay for their subscription.
Yeah.
So I had to go and collect my own money every week, door to door. And so, but I eventually, what did I do? This is one lesson I learned by accident as a child was the leverage of networking. I networked and got several buddies of mine to help me deliver the papers in the morning and jump on our bicycles and go deliver the paper out. And I would focus on what I turned out to be best at, which was sales and collections. And I mean, back then I even had to learn how to run one of those handwritten, those big green spreadsheets with all the little columns on it. And I had to, check in their, name of the client and how much they owed me and whether they were up to date on payments. And so it was really running a real business, not just grabbing the papers and delivering every morning. But anyway, I went on from there at 23 to, by the time I was 23, I owned 5 restaurants and a nightclub. Went from there. I sold several of those to Taco Bell when they came on. We were in Puerto Rico and had the major food courts with the Mexican restaurants, and sold them several to Taco Bell. Went on from there to bring up a family in Florida, got into sales of all kinds because I didn't want to have anything to do with the restaurant business anymore. I was burnt out on that. That's a story in itself, but moved on from the restaurant business into sales, and then eventually fell into internet marketing back in 1996 and generated over $1 billion in sales between 1996 and 2008. And it came to a crashing halt. So if you want to hear of a challenge in my life, 2008 was a disaster. Wow. I, thought I was living high on the horse. I was a vice president of a major corporation. I also had businesses on the side with my wife, and I was an internet guru at the time. I mean, I was really kicking. I had over 2,000 telemarketers that we were feeding the leads to, and all inbound calls for sales, and it all came to a crashing halt and burn with the economy in 2008 and 9. I jokingly laugh now and say, shoot, I had one of my best sales years ever in 2009. I mean, I sold my house, my cars, my boat, my furniture, my jewelry. It got real bad. So I found myself in my mid 40s, late 40s, starting all over, lost essentially everything, watching cars get towed out of my driveway for, when I couldn't make the payments, and literally, it was a very trying time. And then spent a couple of years before I could, really bounce back. I thought for sure I will bounce back vertically. I will land in another big corporate position. I'm an expert at marketing. I'm a bilingual. I'm good looking. But anyway,
absolutely.
I thought I will bounce back, and man, it didn't happen. And little by little, running out of funds and running out of savings and running out of everything, and feeling like a mega victim. Why me? Why me at this age? Why am I starting over? And not until I got my head back on straight with realizing, okay, I know how to make money. And instead of trying to do it for somebody else, I went back into business for myself, and eventually pulled out of that route, and became a multimillionaire again. So,
wow. That's an amazing story. And I don't wish that upon anyone. I've been in your shoes, and at around 50 years old. So it's a very humbling experience, but man, it's a great lesson when you come out of it. one of my mentors. For anyone that's going through that, I have a dear friend that's on LinkedIn that's going through the same thing. And I told her that it will be easier this time because now you know what to do, you know what not to do. Just go do those things that you know to do. And so that's just a little bit of encouragement that one of my business coaches gave me was I have no doubt you'll be successful. So there is hope, but you have to do something for it.
Yeah, God gives you, tells you we got to pray and we got to, but we also have to do our part. The Lord will help you, but He's only going to do so much of it. So,
Amen.
you're going to need to step up and do your part, and then He can open the doors along the way. But you've got to get out and start having the right mindset, the mindset of gratitude, and the mindset of learning and churning. I mean, you've got to go through the steps. You've got to knock on the doors. You've got to, do what it takes and believe in yourself and leverage partnerships is another fact. I've done very well with that in my career. By the way, there's, I think, was it you that wrote the book on the partnerships and what to do and what not to do?
Online course. Yes.
Yes. You got that course. And, they can be very effective. Of course, they can be disastrous if they're set up wrong. But I do believe in partnering because, like I did with my friends when I was 9 years old and others, there's power in numbers, and sometimes there's conquer and what's the word I'm looking for? Divide and conquer with partners that have different skill sets than you might have. And sometimes you can partner with people that you couldn't afford to hire, right? But you could potentially bring them in as associates or partners in the business and build something together that can be grand. So
yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. I promise that's going to help someone today because I know people that are in that situation, especially in today's economy. So you talked about having multiple businesses. Most business owners can't even fathom because they can't even get past thinking about this week on their one business. What's a kind of a life lesson that you found that you were able to replicate owning businesses?
Well, systems and processes that need to be set up and hiring either the partnerships or people that you bring on board, hiring people smarter than you and trying to build a circle, a team of people that are better at you at areas, where you're weak at and stop trying to do it all yourself. I've found too many solopreneurs, entrepreneurs that, essentially don't have the right team members, don't have, or maybe even none, but they're not outsourcing things that they could be doing. Anything you do every day over and over could likely be turned into a business process that you could outsource. And in today's world, it's never been easier to outsource your effort, whether it be with automation, which you definitely need to have in today's world, set up as much automation and systems as possible with CRMs that are so affordable today. And or you need to have a combination of virtual assistants that can be hired in your backyard or on the other side of the world that can be doing a lot of the menial or tasks that take time that where you're working in the business versus on the business. And therefore, step up, hire smart people, hire people that are experts in one area or the other better than you, and then outsource it and get them doing those things so you can focus on the bigger picture.
I know a lot of business owners often ask us, what should I delegate first? Do you have any insight on what you found was probably the most beneficial to you to outsource first or delegate?
Well, in today's world of business setup, I would say you need to be delegating workflows and processes of the process of a lead coming in the front door, whether it be in your physical business or an online world. What is the process that when they come in through that front door and you capture a lead somehow? And by the way, that's another mistake a lot of physical businesses don't do. Brick and mortar businesses don't. It always amazes me how many brick and mortar businesses do nothing to solicit my contact information when I'm in and out of their business. And so they have no way to follow up with me because they never even bothered to have some sort of system to request my name, phone number, and email to join their newsletter, to get on their list for a free appetizer on my birthday, to come back to the restaurant, to share, whatever, come up with something. But most businesses don't even bother, right? But again, if you are generating leads, what is your process? How are you? I would outsource the system of putting them through what I call a workflow, where they come into your business, into the process, and then they're getting your series of emails, welcoming them to your community, following up with what you offer, showing and communicating that you're the expert and authority in your field, and then eventually asking them to, or maybe always asking them to become a client, asking for the order, and having good reasons to show why you are the expert. And in that process of email, text messaging, reading list, voicemail, broadcasting, what are you doing to stay in touch, stay relevant? Maybe it's a newsletter, but all of that I would outsource so that you can have all that set up and make it automatic, so that systems are working. When you get up in the morning, you've already had, emails are already going out the door. Text messages are already being in the workflow based on what they did. I mean, you can get an expert to help you set up workflows that are, if they do this, they get this kind of responses. If they're doing this, they get this kind of series of messages. If they respond to one of those messages, they get a new series of emails or text messages based on their interest or their response. And all of that takes some thought and takes some, setup, but it's easy to outsource somebody to an expert to do exactly that in today's world with CRM systems and what have you.
That's so important, because I know a lot of business owners will tell me, well, I can't afford that. And my response is, so you really want to sit there and spend 10 to 20 hours researching the different workflows, and then spend another 10 to 20 trying to figure out the different platforms, and then, or just hire somebody that can do it in a few hours or whatever it is. And in that expense, go find another client. What that time that you would have spent trying to figure it out, go find another client to pay for that person.
Right. Exactly. And that person will likely bring you more clients quite quickly, because as you set all of these systems up, the clients will begin to fall in they'll be soon asking for, how do I get involved, if they're not, because they want your product or service, assuming you have a solution, you have something that solves problems for somebody else. And if that's what you do, then clients will come your way as soon as they find out about you eventually.
Absolutely. Well, so I was going to wait a minute or two, but I'm so excited to share your product because it is so unique. And while we're talking about leads, this might be something that someone consider to put in their workflow. So tell us a little bit about that. It's really cool.
All right. So imagine if you were to be able to enhance your call to action. Let's say you've got a team of salespeople, or you are the salesperson, and you're going through the process of asking people to get booked on your calendar so you can have a Zoom call with them. I mean, in today's world, one thing that's really changed the world of sales and marketing is Zoom, of course, or other platforms like this, where we no longer have to drive all over town to meet in person with somebody to make a presentation of how our solution can fix their problems. And the time we used to have to spend to drive around town, park, get out, meet somebody, have lunch with them, those still are great ideas to do with clients, that when you can. But we can use Zoom in today's world and meet with people all over the world and pitch people our product and services. And but many times, the challenge is, can you get them to book on your calendar? And then how many of them, it's amazing how many of them end up being no-shows. So your salespeople are getting clients booked on their calendar, and then they're no-shows. So with our Marketing Boost incentives, we've seen so many of our clients fix this problem, which is, imagine it. I mean, if you eliminated the no-shows, what does that do to your bottom line? You've got your salespeople or yourself talking to more people, closing more sales. And to do that, for example, offering an incentive from Marketing Boost that doesn't cost you hardly anything. A membership to Marketing Boost is $37 a month, and you have the ability to give away an unlimited amount of our 3 categories of incentives. So you might offer, for example, a $100 restaurant savings voucher when you book your call, a no obligation phone call with us, whether we do business together or not. I'm going to reward you with a $100 restaurant savings voucher. Good. And, you'll type in your zip code and see a bunch of restaurants you can use it at. And we'll give you that just for showing up on time for the appointment that you book as a reward. We think your time is valuable, so is ours. So if you show up on time, we'll reward you with a $100 restaurant savings voucher or maybe a $200 hotel savings card. Once you get them on the call, then you might be saying, now, by the way, here's what we do. Here's our solution. If you go ahead and hire us, we're running a promotion this week. And if you take action before Friday, end of day, we've got a few of these left where we can give you a complimentary hotel stay, 3 nights in Las Vegas, Miami, or Orlando. For example, we have 30 U.S. destinations, but you might say, look, we're going to give you a complimentary hotel stay on us when you go ahead and sign up, by end of day Friday. And or if you pay in full, pay in full rather than monthly. If you pay in full for 6 months of our service, I'm going to reward you with 6 days and 5 nights in Cancun on us at a beachfront resort in Cancun. And then, of course, you could drop in the disclaimers. Michael, this is what we teach our members. We have, most of our members have the option of paying here, let me tell you, they don't include airfare, they don't include food and beverage, and they don't include government taxes and fees. So most of our members just disclose that to the client. Look, Michael, I'm going to give you a complimentary hotel stay on us. I've got your hotel covered. It won't include how you get to and from Cancun. It won't include your food and beverage when you get there, and it won't include your government taxes. But I'm going to give you, a phenomenal resort getaway in Cancun, or the 3 night real nice hotels and 3 nights in Las Vegas, and then I just do the proper disclosure. Or if I make enough money on the sale of my product, I may want to go ahead and cover those taxes and fees and pay the activation fee and give you a truly complimentary getaway. But that would be up to the member if they want to pay that activation fee. Now, there's no timeshare sales pitches or hoops to jump through. I mean, this business came about kind of by accident, Michael, and it's almost a great story to tell as well on how it came about in the first place. But it's been a home run for many, many businesses on being able to use these incentives as tools to acquire more leads and close more sales.
You're listening to Small Business Pivots. This podcast is sponsored by Boss, where business ownership is simplified for success. Boss helps business owners create a business that runs without them with business consulting, business loans, and much, much more. Go to businessownershipsimplified.com to learn why small business success starts with Boss. If you're enjoying the podcast and want to stay up to date with all of our episodes, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, or leave a positive review. Let's get back to our guest.
Yeah, I know that me personally, as a business coach, a lot of business owners come to us and we're going to invest in this because one of the top things or comments that most business owners come to us and say is, I haven't taken a vacation in how many ever years. Well, let us help you with that. We're going to schedule this and I'm going to help you with the hotel or whatever it is. I mean, that's just, it kind of fits. So if you're creative in how it fits and aligns with maybe even some of the conversations that you have with your clients, you can really use it to your advantage, just so it doesn't even sound like a sales pitch.
Absolutely. You're right. Because you could be saying, in your discovery, you could say, by the way, you're running a business. And if you're like most business owners, you're strapped and almost, chained into the business. So tell me, when was the last time you took a vacation of more than, a 2-day getaway, maybe a weekend, but other than that, you're stuck, right? And they're like, yeah, you're right. I haven't taken more than 2 days off in years. And so, bam, he says, well, we're going to help you with that. And when you hire a I'm going to, after we work through and help you with the coaching and help you set up these processes and help you start improving your business flow, I'm also going to reward you with, boom, if you take action or pay in advance or on our 6th-month anniversary. So you can dangle these incentives as what I call, make people earn them. The more you make them earn it, the more valuable they are. So although as a Marketing Boost member, you can give away as many of these as you want, you have unlimited access to them. But if you give them away like candy, then you're reducing the value of them in the mind of your prospect as well. So you want to make them do something to earn it. I'll give you an idea. I just heard from someone else that I interviewed recently that how we're using Marketing Boost incentives. And this was I thought a great idea on a simple way for local business owners in their community to be branding themselves. And she would like local events at the baseball, local little league baseball games, and sponsor or hire a ice cream truck, and bring the ice cream truck and give, for 2 hours free ice cream for, the parents and the kids and what have you. And of course, to get the free ice cream, they had to come up to her counter next to the ice cream truck there and click on a QR code and enter their information to be entered to win a trip to, for example, 5 nights in Cabo San Lucas, or 5 nights in 3 nights in Las Vegas, whatever. So they're entering to win, and she would say, everybody gets a $25 restaurant voucher when you enter, and we're going to have 2 winners are going to win some complimentary hotel stays. But when you enter, you also get your voucher for the free ice cream. So everybody coming through, and then she's got her real estate sign that she's a realtor. I'm the expert, if you're and she gets to chat to people. Hey, if you're buying, selling, investing, don't forget, Marco Torres Realty.com. So don't forget, look for us, or so forth. And at the same time, so she's getting hundreds of leads at this event between by the time all the different games are over. And what did it cost her? Yeah, she had to pay for a bunch of ice cream, but she's generating leads, and she was using the Marketing Boost incentives as a reason for people to actually enter name, phone number, and email at the counter, and what have you. And then instead of having a bowl or people dropping their business card, if they have one or something, it's kind of modernizing it, right? Everybody's got a phone in their hand. Click the QR code, enter your information, and I'll give you your voucher for the ice cream, and generating leads like that. And then she does, I've got other business owners and insurance agents, for example, they sponsor local nonprofits, and they go in and take their sales hat off and sponsor local nonprofit organizations and help them fundraise by giving them a half a dozen of the complimentary hotel stays from Marketing Boost. And they'll be like, hey, you can use these complimentary hotel stays I'm giving you. You can raffle them off or auction them off at the event, at your fundraising event. We can give everybody who walks in. So in other words, I'm going to sponsor your fundraising event from Marco Torres Realty or whatever, Joe's Plumbing or whatever it is. And you say, I would like to sponsor your next fundraising event, help you generate more money. We'll give everybody who comes to the event a $50 restaurant savings voucher to use in their local zip code. So we'll do that. And then we'll give you the complimentary hotel stays that you can auction off or sell raffle tickets to. And then all I need to do is be at the event. I do need to explain how these work, the 3 disclaimers. They don't include airfare, food and beverage, government taxes and fees. And then, of course, I'd like to give my elevator pitch. Folks, hope you enjoy the complimentary hotel stays if you win one or whatever, but I'm the expert in real estate. So if you're buying, selling, investing, contact Marco. Don't forget me. Or I'm the insurance expert or the financial expert, yada, yada. So you do your little elevator pitch, and you're in the community there, generating leads, rubbing shoulders with philanthropists, and showing that, you're kind of the hero helping a good cause. And you could be generating leads, marketing your brand without the typical sales hat on at all times, like we are when we go to the typical networking event or what have you. So it's just different ideas like that, Michael, that are easily and affordable ways to be in the community, branding yourself, and showing that and generating leads.
Yeah, I'm just speechless, because my mind, I'm sure, as our listeners, we're just going a million miles an hour. I could do this and this and this, So for those that aren't watching the video version of this, your background says over 30,000 Facebook group members. What is that about?
Yeah, we have our main Facebook group, Marketing Boost Facebook group. It's called Marketing Boost Official Facebook group, the travel incentive guys. We have over 30,000 entrepreneurs in that group that are like you, Michael, and every other small business out there. They come into our world. Part of our marketing strategy is to invite folks to join our Facebook group. And within our Facebook group community, we are sharing content and ideas and how to use these incentives to grow your business. A lot of different members are posting what they did, what they're doing, what it worked for them, asking questions and so forth. and they can see in the community that, they're not the only ones using the incentives. And so it's kind of like, okay, so it's not, it's not too good to be true if others are doing this too, because it does, we make this so we're not the first to be offering in travel incentives or rewards that you can offer your client. But we did reinvent the wheel in how it's presented and how affordable it is. Typically, prior to us, you had to buy certificates. You had to buy a huge bundle of them. It was expensive, and you had to buy, pay for these type of certificates up to $100 each in order to give away to your client. And many of them, if they weren't expensive like that, they had all these timeshare hoops you had to jump through. And so our incentives don't have any of those hoops to jump through. There's no phone calls to make. After they activate the certificate, they go online to our travel fulfillment company. It's called redeemvacations.com. That's where your client activates the certificate, and then they can log in anytime they want. They have 18 months to use the complimentary hotel stays, and they log in, plug in the dates they want to go, and based on availability, they'll pick their hotel and get instant confirmation and on their way. Now we are fulfilling, the relationship we have with our hotel partners to do this is we convinced hotels that, well, let me tell you, can I tell how we were born in the first place?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when we started this business, it came about completely by accident. We were in the travel space. My partners and I have been in the travel space since 2010. And, we were trying to get video testimonials from our clients, and we just couldn't get anybody to do it. We kept thinking, man, if we only had hundreds of video reviews on our travel website, and if we had them for each of our destinations, people would that would convert to hundreds of more sales because they'd see the reality. These people love this particular hotel, or these prices we offer are real, and so on. But we couldn't get anybody to do it. So we came up with an idea that we thought would be temporary and just say, we'll do a survey. Now, this, Michael, works really well for any business out there. Rather than just ask everybody for a review, what we did was we did a survey when we thought our client should be at their peak of happiness, which in our case, selling travel, was the day after they checked into the hotel. Not when they bought the vacation, but when they showed up. And the day after they checked in, we'd ask them, hey, what do you think of the hotel that you checked into? Is it living up to your expectations? And how has our service been so far? Can you give us a star rating from 1 to 5? And if we got a 4 or 5 star review back, then we would send them a request for a review. And we would say, listen, we're thrilled you're having a wonderful stay at the hotel. Would you help us spread the word about that hotel? And if you'd even go the extra mile of filming a selfie video from the pool, the bar, the restaurant, and brag about that hotel brand, give kind of a little hotel review and mention our brand, we will bonus you with a 3-night getaway in your choice of Orlando or Las Vegas. Bam. We started generating video reviews instantly. And then we had several dozen, and then, about 100. And then we shut the campaign off because we're like, man, this is going to be expensive to fulfill these 3-night stays when people start raising their hand going,
yeah,
okay, you promised me 3 nights in Orlando, Las Vegas. We knew we were going to have to come out of pocket to pay for those. How are we going to do that? Well, it was worth it because we had all that the social proof on our website and our Facebook groups. And so, but then we thought, man, how could we keep this going where we don't have to turn this campaign off? And we went back to our hotel partners in Orlando and Vegas, and we said, listen, we've come up with an idea, and you have a problem. We think we can solve it. Let's be honest. Your hotel is never full year round. You're certainly full certain weekends, certain peak season dates, holidays, special events, but 70% of the year, be honest, you probably have 20, 30, 40, 50% of your rooms often sitting empty. And you still have the same fixed costs, mortgage payments, front desk staff, light bills, maintenance crews. And they agreed. And we said, we can put warm bodies in those rooms that are going empty. And they're likely going to spend money at the restaurant, the bar, the casino, the gift shop, the excursion desk, the room service. They'll hopefully upgrade room types, book extra nights. And or they'll come back next year. They'll post social media pictures of them at the resort, and you'll get branding and marketing from all these folks as well. So you'll generate some revenue versus none. And we got a few partners that, okay, we'll give it a try. So we got access to their unsold dates, and we're able to start fulfilling again those complimentary hotel stays that we wanted to give away. So then now we're generating more and more video reviews. By the way, that website has over 30,000 video testimonials today, more than any other travel website in the
Wow.
world. So
Wow.
that campaign is still part of our process. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're getting these reviews. We're getting, we have Orlando and Vegas, and then we think, what if we could get more? Imagine if we could get more hotels all over the world to participate in this closed loop environment where they're giving us access to this unsold inventory. And so we went out to solicit hotels around the world. And in 2017, we launched what at that time was called advertisingbait.com. And we had 6 destinations. And to give it to with complimentary hotel stays for 6 destinations only. And that's grown into and morphed into a different company name. We eventually became marketingboost.com. And we now have complimentary hotel stays in 130 destinations around the world from 3 to 7 nights, plus the hotel savings cards. They come in increments of $1, $2, $3, and $500. Those are good at over 1 million hotels worldwide. So we serve business owners anywhere in the globe because they can give these hotel savings cards to anybody everywhere. And the complimentary hotel stays, we've got destinations in Asia and Europe and Australia and the United States and the Caribbean. So literally it works for most of the, tourism, high tourism destinations around the world were covered so that you're, no matter where you are as a business owner, you can incentivize your client to a destination they'll likely enjoy, like Dubai or Bali or Phuket, Thailand, or Singapore, or Boracay in the Philippines, or all over Australia, and of course 30 U.S. destinations. So we created what we call, Michael, sorry to hog the microphone here, but we have what we call a real win-win-win scenario. It's a win for the Marketing Boost member because for $37 a month, they have access to these powerful, high-value incentives they can use to enhance their call to action or reward clients for loyalty, create loyalty programs. Realtors can use them for housewarming gifts. I mean, there's just a little bit of creativity, and you can use these in a myriad of ways. And then so it's a win for the Marketing Boost member. It's a win for the hotels. We're helping them fill rooms that would otherwise go empty. And it's a win for the end user who receives the incentive because they're oftentimes traveling to destinations they would not have been able to afford to at all prior to the business owner rewarding them with the gift. Or even if they can't afford it, they're saving. And in today's world, with the inflation rates all over the world as high as they are, and travel being high on everybody's mind after COVID, people want to go somewhere and they want to get back to traveling, and it's expensive now more than ever. So the discount incentive, the hotel savings cards or the complimentary hotel stays become an attractive incentive for whatever business niche you're in. I mean, we obviously have hundreds of travel agents that use us. So it's a shoe-in for a travel agent because obviously, hey, buy a cruise and I'll give you a 3-night stay as a bonus. It's like a BOGO offer. But it works for you name it, whether it's a car dealer saying, hey, come in for a test drive and get a reward, or it's a business coach promising, when you pay for me for 6 months in advance, or you name it, it works.
Yeah, there are so many tools and lessons in here that you've shared. Your success story, being adaptable, taking advantage of something that you saw, being open to new ideas. For the listeners, you're getting a wealth of information here. So this is not your typical marketing campaign. I mean, this is very unique. So those that are listening are really going to have the upper hand against their competition because this is something not really heard of. So what is the website and what is the cost?
Marketing Boost. I'd like to promote marketingboostsolutions.com.
Okay.
Marketingboostsolutions.com there has a link to Marketing Boost, of course, and where you can go and sign up for Marketing Boost. Matter of fact, your listeners, if they go to marketingboostsolutions.com first and then click on the link there for Marketing Boost, they can actually get a free account with no credit card required. It's a limited version. They don't get everything but they can actually preview it without even putting in their credit card. So zero risk. And then, of course, we also, on that site, there's a link to my podcast. and links to other tools that we offer to help a business owner grow, like the CRM systems that I was talking about earlier, et cetera. So marketingboostsolutions.com. And then we have a little chat support guy there. It's automated. We call our sales genie, but that chat, you can ask her any question about Marketing Boost, and right in there, the chat will answer any questions you might have about Marketing Boost, sitting on marketingboostsolutions.com.
And then what's the investment? You mentioned it earlier.
$37 a month, and you get
that's
access to all three categories of our incentives. So
that is not a risk.
Exactly.
That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know, we used to be as high as $197 a month for our services, Michael. But when we launched in 2017, we were 37. And then we ended up, you know, as we grew and added all kinds of additional incentives, we raised the price up to $197 a month. And then COVID hit. And of course, travel became back burner for nearly everybody. And we took a big hit. At the same time, we were trying to expand globally. And so our strategy changed, and we thought, you know what, we're trying to serve business owners in India, in the Philippines, in Australia, in different markets around the world. And for some, $197 a month was, you know, a real stretch in different countries, in Colombia, South America, et cetera. So we went back to our classic price of $37 a month, which is what we launched in with 2017 during COVID, and that kept our base intact. So we didn't lose as many of our clients. We certainly lost some of the revenue.
Yeah,
but we kept our business owners, you know, in the loop here with us. And after we came out of COVID by 2021, mid 2021, it was like revenge travel. People were like, after they're, you know, everybody realized they're either going to get it, or they already got it, or they got the jab, or they got they already had immunity from, you know, getting sick already. They were like, okay, revenge travel kicked in, and all of the people who had those incentives were using them, and more, you know, we're back to numbers way beyond 2019 and serving business owners around the globe.
that's fantastic. So what is your podcast about, just so listeners know?
The Marketing Boost Solutions podcast, Michael, probably similar to yours. We invite business experts with success stories or business tips and ideas and tools to help inspire this entrepreneur journey. So our community, again, you know, 30,000 entrepreneurs and growing. And the idea is, you know, it's a lonely journey to be an entrepreneur often. You know, you're sometimes losing sleep to make payroll on Friday. You don't have anybody to shoulder to cry on. And there's certainly nobody to pat you on the back when you're doing a good job. And so our podcast, the goal and mission is to inspire entrepreneurs to keep taking one more step up the ladder, and being there to, you know, guide people up that ladder of on that journey of success.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you sharing the load and helping others. And just for our listeners and any business owner, you're not alone. Just like you said, I work with some of the wealthiest people that aren't known worldwide, but they're wealthy in my region, and they still struggle. We all have the same problems. They're just at different levels, right? So just keep, like you said, take one more step. Nobody's got this figured out. Even those that look like they do, they don't. In fact, they're probably the ones that have it the least figured out. They're just putting on a facade, you know. So
yeah, sometimes
yeah. So before we wrap up, since it's small business pivots, is there a pivot that you made in business that you can share that you would say that's the one that kind of catapulted me, or this is the one I would recommend to everybody? Is there anything that happened in your business, or maybe something you did that you wouldn't do again?
Yeah, good point there. Did that I wouldn't do again, and this is a difficult thing for many a business owner, right? Where you build a team, right? You build your staff, and then there might be a downturn. You know, things out of your control. So, for example, one of our travel sites at the back in maybe 2017 or so, we were really kicking ass, and we were spending millions of dollars on Facebook ads alone. I mean, in 10 years, we spent about $70 million on Facebook ads alone
Wow.
for that travel website, which was a huge success. I mean, we were, when you find a marketing campaign that works, here's another lesson you can learn from, which is good. When you do find a campaign that's working, don't limit the budget. If it's working, throw gas on it. I mean, just
Yes.
keep, if it's working and it's generating profit, then keep throwing money at it until it stops. The challenge we had was it stopped. In other words, and I think it was 2017 or 18, Apple changed the rules on Facebook advertising. They changed the iOS 14, iOS 15 came out. And suddenly, the new privacy policies everybody on the Apple phone was plugged into eliminated the ability with Facebook ads to target our audiences properly and to do retargeting like we used to. And overnight, ad campaigns were not working. And we weren't the only one. Other major marketers that were spending, $50,000, $100,000 a day in Facebook ads suddenly was like, can't make it work. And we're all trying and twisting and turning and trying to, update the ads and try this and try that. We kept going at it because we had kind of an obligation to our staff. We had this huge call center with people that made money. They had to fulfill the clients and take the phone calls and sell the travel and answer all the questions and the customer service. And now, with the ads not working, there's no new or a hell of a lot less new clients coming in the door. And we have a commitment to this staff, or we had this emotional commitment to the staff that we've had and trained and invested in over the years. And we didn't pivot fast enough. We didn't pivot fast enough to cut the staff, cut the campaigns, quit bleeding on the campaigns that weren't working anymore. It's like when you're winning in the casino and then it turns and your luck has changed and you're not winning anymore. Yeah. It's time to walk out. And the mistake you can make is well, I'll win it. This will turn and I'm going to keep going and I'll win it back. Before you know it, everything you won is gone and you're digging into your pockets and you walk out of the casino losing, way too much.
Yeah.
And business and advertising and marketing is like the casino every day. It's like, is this going to work? Is this going to work? I'm going to spend you want to, like a casino, you want to put $5 chips down if you can and see if and then grow. As it grows, you can raise your bets. And similar, with marketing on Facebook, Google, YouTube.
That's
TikTok,
a good analogy. Yeah.
Anything else. You gambled a little bit, and if it's working, you throw more money at it. When it quits working, you need to pull back. Well, the problem we had was we built a huge staff to go with the success of the marketing campaigns. And then we felt an obligation to not want to cut that staff. And, with the cash flow can get real upside down real quick. And that's when you need experts like Michael, by the way. You want to make sure you have in advance previously set up your credit lines and your access to cash to carry you through the rainy days that are going to come, that will come your way sooner or later in the cycle of business. Anyway, long story short, we survived this, but we lost a lot of money in the sense that we were overspending on ads, still trying to find a way to feed the machine, the machine of staff that we had, where because it's painful to let go of staff, but that's what we needed to have done. And we weren't willing to do it. We wanted to try to keep hammering away at. We've got to find a way to make the marketing work again, so we can continue to feed our machine and keep our our revenues what they are and grow. And sometimes you need to pull back. At least that's what In retrospect, we should have pulled back sooner, made decisions to pivot faster, tighten up the team, tighten up expenses everywhere else, and live to fight another day and find the new marketing strategies, over time versus overnight. So
that's a great story to share. And I know a lot of times business owners will have that gut feeling, but they don't go with their gut. And they're like, man, I should have gone with my gut. So sometimes you really need to follow your gut. And there's a book, and I'll put it in the show notes. It's called The Dip, I believe. And it talks about being in that situation like you were and how to make that decision quicker, how to pivot faster. And but I'll put that in the show notes. So we're out of time here. I think we might have to have an encore with all your knowledge and experience sharing. But is there somewhere that people can go follow you? I mean, do you put YouTube, or is it just go to the Facebook group? Where's the best place to go learn more information from you?
I do have a YouTube channel, and it's called the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast channel. And so Marketing Boost Solutions YouTube channel, our Facebook group, Marketing Boost, the official Marketing Boost group. And of course, all of that you can find if you just go to Marketing Boost Solutions or marketingboost.com.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate your time and insights. A lot of people are smarter today because of it. So thank you again. Wish you continued success, and we'll see you around.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Recap and Coach's Corner. This episode is packed with strategies for both brick and mortar and online businesses, detailing the use of automated workflows and CRM systems to keep leads warm and convert them into sales. Marco and I dissect the nuances of lead generation, the value of outsourcing technical setups, and the incredible effects of creative incentives like restaurant vouchers and hotel stays on customer commitment. In today's competitive environment, it is essential that each company create their own unique incentives to attract buyers. For today's Coach's Corner segment, we learned about the transformative power of travel incentives and how they can supercharge your business growth. The one actionable item I want to leave you with is this: explore the travel incentives into your customer engagement strategy today. Whether it's offering restaurant vouchers, hotel stays, or other enticing rewards, take the leap and see how it impacts your business's bottom line and customer loyalty. Or, simply said, find your own unique differentiator. You've got to stand out to make an impact. If you need help establishing your unique differentiator and increasing your sales, go to businessownershipsimplified.com and download our sales playbook under our free resources tab. Thank you for listening to Small Business Pivots. Please don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. If your business is stuck or you need help creating your business to run without you, go to our website, businessownershipsimplified.com, and schedule a free consultation to learn why small business success starts with BOSS. If you have a guest or topic suggestion for our podcast, or just want to talk anything small business related, email me at michael@michaeldmorrison.com. We'll see you next time on Small Business Pivots.